As a Thresh main since his release in 2013, I've gained a great amount of experience and knowledge from experimenting with him in offensive roles such as top lane, mid lane, and even jungle. Though I will mainly advocate top lane and possibly mid lane once you know what you're doing with him, the tips I will provide you in this video can help your overall understanding of the champion. So, here are 7 universal tips for solo Thresh. I must admit that tip 1 is a very large one, because it is fundamental to succeeding as aggressive Thresh. As mentioned, I advocate aggressive playstyles, and therefore emphasise the importance of offensive statistics. In this first tip, I will describe attack damage and attack speed on Thresh. Attack damage will scale with your Flay passive, dealing up to 200% of your total attack damage as magic damage on your first basic attack once you have Flay at level 5. This means that your first charge attack will do triple your total AD and hybrid damage before factoring in resistances. Against squishies, this damage is devastating, and subsequent attacks from yourself and your team will easily finish them off. Attack speed, on the other hand, increases your sustained damage. Attack speed will increase the frequency of your auto attacks, working well not only with your attack damage, but with any on-hit effects you use, such as Thresh's on-hit damage equal to the amount of souls he has, and also item on-hits, such as Blade of the Ruined King and Greensu's Rageblade. Though you could build both AD and AS, it is a good idea to stick to one path or the other, since you do not have enough item slots to spare and need space for defensive items as well if you're going to be using your close range abilities. Until the addition of Rapid Fire Cannon, AD Burst was unreliable on Thresh due to his short range, but Rapid Fire Cannon has turned it not only viable, but extremely strong. Summarised, attack damage makes for a bursty, poke, hit and run style of play with stronger early mid game, and attack speed makes for a sustained, close range DPS shredder style of play with powerful late game. By examining your own team comp, or the squishiness of your enemies, decide which path you want to choose. AD is strong against squishies but weak against tanks, and attack speed is overall versatile. Flay and Death Sentence are some of the strongest crowd control basic abilities in the game. To use them to their fullest potential, know that Flay appears behind Thresh, immediately striking any enemy there and knocking them towards him. So, for the sake of faster damage and keeping enemies close, Flay towards yourself. If you Flay away, it takes about half a second for the Flay to travel and reach the opponent, giving your opponent half a second to dodge, or worse, kill you before it hits. Death Sentence stuns the target for 1.5 seconds, but Thresh is also unable to attack while he has his target hooked, so he can't attack for 1.5 seconds. If you do not recast immediately, Thresh will pull his target towards him a short way twice. However, if you choose to recast as soon as possible, you can shorten the stun on Thresh, and so you can attack a few extra times while the target is still under the stun. This may not seem like much, but the extra few attacks actually mean quite a lot and can turn the tides of a duel. Also, these two abilities are great displacements. Use them to drag or knock opponents into walls of the box or into your own turret. Souls have a 100% drop rate on siege minions, super minions, and large monsters. For all other minions and monsters, however, the drop rate goes just like the critical chance rate does. There is a chance for a soul to drop from an enemy minion once it dies, and if it does drop a soul, it reduces the chance of the next minion dropping one slightly. Though, if a minion does not drop a soul, then the chance of the next minion dropping a soul increases slightly. This way, soul dropping becomes somewhat consistent. Also, soul drops from large minions do not affect the chances on smaller minions. The best way to get souls is simply to be around as many dying minions as you can, and snagging the 100% drop chance large minions and monsters when you can. Souls provide on-hit damage equal to how many you have, which as mentioned works very well with attack speed, and also provides armor and ability power. Thus, you should try to collect as many souls as you can. Use your lantern to collect souls that you cannot reach yourself. Because of souls, you may not actually need to buy armor in the early and mid game. If farming them well, you can often get by with just Giant's Belt and Spectre's Cowl for mid game all-round defense. However, if you're up against a fed AD champion or marksman, it can be a good idea to buy some armor such as Warden's Mail, to turn into a Randuin Doman later. Death Sentence isn't just a way to hook and stun enemy champions, but minions and monsters too. While gap closing to an enemy champion that you want to kill is preferable, sometimes you can't just do that, but you may be able to get closer by hooking onto a minion instead. You can also hook onto monsters such as Gromp over the wall to escape from enemies, and this can be a great method of escape if you choose to split push. When chasing enemies as Thresh, you do not need to auto attack at every opportunity. To help me explain what I mean, imagine you were a regular AD carry champion chasing an enemy down. In order to maximize your damage, you'd chase, attack, constantly moving in between your attacks and attacking at every opportunity. This means you'd have to constantly stand still to get your attacks off. As a Thresh with high AD in your build, you don't actually have to do that. You can simply let your damage charge up as you chase using the Flay passive. This means that you don't have to slow yourself down by constantly attacking, meaning you can even manage to get in range of not just auto attacks, but Flay or Death Sentence as well. Your lantern can be used like a temporary ward to reveal enemies in brush, or a very small radius of vision in the fog of war. This is incredibly useful when melee enemies try to use brush to force you closer, or even try to juke you. Also, like a ward, you and your allies can teleport to the lantern. Champions like Katarina and Lee Sin can also jump to it. Additionally, your lantern actually creates a small area of impassable terrain. This is most easily used against jungle monsters, but can actually work against enemy champions. Though I haven't got a clip of it, and chances to use this technique are rare, but you can actually use your lantern to stutter an enemy's movement, closing the distance enough to land the finishing blow on them. Despite this, you cannot cancel enemy channels with the lantern. So that has been it for 7 universal tips on playing Thresh. As mentioned, this is geared more towards my style of Thresh top or mid Thresh or any kind of aggressive solo non-support Thresh. I hope you enjoyed the video, hope you learned something about Thresh or his potential in the top lane or mid lane. So I'd just like to thank you for watching, and if you are interested in any more content revolving around top or mid Thresh, even jungle Thresh maybe, or any other kind of off meta, then please do check out the rest of the channel. If you like what you see, be sure to give the videos you like a like, and if you want to be notified whenever I make new dumb stuff, be sure to subscribe. So anyway, thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.